Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into a framework for resilience that was literally forged under fire. We're talking about the book Overcome by retired Navy SEAL Jason Redman, a powerful guide for surviving pretty much any ambush life decides to throw your way.
So let me drop you right into the middle of the action. It's 2007, Iraq. Jason Redman and his SEAL team walk into a brutal, well-planned ambush. Machine gun fire erupts. He's hit multiple times. The rounds nearly tear his arm off and rip through his face. That single, violent, chaotic moment, well, that's the starting point for everything we're about to unpack today.
You know, in military speak, the spot where he was hit is called the X. It's the kill zone. It is the absolute worst place you can possibly be. But Redman takes this idea and turns it into this incredible metaphor for life. A life ambush can be anything. Losing your job, getting a bad diagnosis, a sudden betrayal, any crisis that pins you down and makes you feel like you are trapped on your own personal X. So, the big question is, how do you get off the X? Well, what Redman learned in that firefight became the foundation for a whole system, a system designed to overcome any obstacle, not just on the battlefield, but in all of our lives. So yeah, the book is called Overcome, and it came out in 2019. It's this amazing blend of a super intense memoir and a really practical leadership guide. It's really for anyone out there who feels like they're stuck in their own life ambush and they're just looking for a way out. But here's the thing, the real turning point in this story, the moment that changes everything, it didn't happen in that firefight. Nope, it happened in a hospital bed when he was surrounded by pity. Imagine this. He's lying in this hospital bed, he can't even speak, and here's these well-meaning people visiting him saying things like, "Oh, what a waste. They'll never be whole again." That is the victim mindset, right there. But inside his own head, a completely different thought was brewing. But why did that feel so much like quitting? And that one question, that was the tiny seed that would grow into the overcome mindset. And that pivotal moment led him to post this famous sign on his hospital room door. It's a quote from the poem Invictus. And with it, he was basically declaring that he refused to be a victim. This wasn't just some sign on a door. It was a declaration of war on self-pity. It was the birth of the overcome mindset. Now, Redman doesn't just talk about having the right mindset. He gives you real, actionable tools. These are military-tested frameworks for dealing with a crisis in the moment and for building that long-term resilience. Okay, so the first tool is for that immediate moment you realize you're in an ambush. It's the REACT framework. First, you recognize what's happening, no sugarcoating. Then you evaluate what you have to work with, your assets, your losses. Then assess your possible ways out. Next, choose a direction, any direction, and commit. And finally, the most important step, take action. You have to get moving immediately. And this right here, this is the core belief that powers that whole REACT tool. It's the absolute conviction that a way forward always exists. You're not looking for the perfect path or an easy path. You're just looking for a path. Over it, under it, around it, or straight through it. The only thing that matters is that you move. So if REACT is for the moment of crisis, the Pentagon of peak performance is for building long-term strength. Think of it as 5 pillars you have to build up before the ambush hits. You've got physical, mental, emotional, social, and spiritual leadership. This is the prep work. So why is the physical part the foundation? Why is it so important? Well, listen to what his doctors told him. They said his elite fitness was literally the only reason he was still alive. Redman argues that this is non-negotiable for all of us. Your physical health is the platform that supports your ability to handle every other kind of stress life throws at you. And that leads to a really critical question for you, for me, for all of us. Looking at these 5 areas of your life, how strong is your Pentagon? Be honest. Are any of those legs a little wobbly? Because here's the hard truth. A life ambush doesn't care if you're ready. It's coming anyway. And you know, these principles aren't just for Navy SEALs. They're totally universal. And they show how literally anyone can take a crisis and turn it into a catalyst for something amazing. The book is just filled with these incredible stories of other people who've used these principles, people who've overcome devastating injuries, PTSD. I mean, look at Mary Dag. She lost both arms in Iraq and then went on to beat cancer. They didn't just survive and get off the X, they used their crisis as a launchpad for a whole new, more purposeful life. This might sound a little crazy, but Redman points out that so many of the wounded warriors he's worked with say the exact same thing. They say, despite all the pain, my injury was one of the best things that ever happened to me. And why would they say that? Because it forged a new clarity, a new perspective, and a powerful new mission in their lives. So when all is said and done, what's our final verdict on overcome? Let's break it down really quick. Okay, the main idea is this. Life ambushes, all the crises, the failures, the traumas, they do not have to be the end of your story. They can actually be a launchpad for a stronger, more meaningful life. But, and this is a big but, only if you choose to adopt that overcome mindset and you do the hard work of building that foundation of peak performance. And the final lesson, the big takeaway here, is that true resilience isn't just about bouncing back to where you were before. It's about launching forward to somewhere new, somewhere better. As the SEALs say, the only easy day was yesterday. Being prepared is an active, daily choice you have to make. So, our feedback. The pros are huge. The story is just so raw and gripping that the lessons really stick with you. And the frameworks, like React and the Pentagon, are super actionable. The only potential con is that for some people, maybe in a corporate setting, the intensity of the military stories might feel a little far removed. But trust me, the principles themselves are 100% universal. For its raw honesty, its powerful storytelling, and for advice that is truly actionable and can be applied by anyone, we're giving Overcome a final grade of 9.2 out of 10. And hey, if this book resonated with you, you should definitely check out Extreme Ownership by Jocko Willink and Leif Babin for a much deeper dive into that idea of radical accountability. And if you were just blown away by Redman's mental and physical toughness, then David Goggins' Can't Hurt Me is another absolutely incredible story of forging an unbreakable will. And all of this leaves us with the book's final critical question. A life ambush is coming for you. It's not a matter of if, it's just a matter of when. The only question that's left is, will you be ready?